guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a video that has been incredibly requested, like probably one of the more requested videos I've gotten in a while. And so I thought, why not film it today? My girls are actually staying at their grandma's house. Plus it's like a really hot day and I'm just like in the plant mood. One thing that I want to say though before I jump into this video is I am by no means a plant expert. Don't come to this video and expect to like get tons of information about plants, because that's definitely not me. I'm more of like a plant enthusiast that just really enjoys plants, and I don't know all the names to my plants. Some of these plants I got like years ago, like over 6 years ago, and back then I just didn't really care about the names or anything like that. I just bought them and you know, that kind of thing. So just know, if you guys do know some of the names to the plants that I don't know, definitely let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to learn like the exact names. Some of these I looked up online, like some of my older plants, and I think I found the correct names, but I'm not exactly sure. So we'll just have to see. If you guys know then though, let me know. I also wanted to say that anybody can be a plant person. I wanted to say this in this video because I have spent so much money on fake plants in my life. I've always loved how plants look. I've always loved the look of greenery in your home. But I always had it in my head that I was not a plant person, that I killed plants, or that I just like wasn't good enough to have house plants for some reason. And I've heard that said a lot to me, like, oh, I just kill everything that I buy, or I just can't have plants because I forget to water them. But just get that thought out of your head. Like, stop identifying with that idea. You can be a plant person and you can own plants. Don't waste your money on fake plants because those things are expensive. Real plants are so much fun to have, and my biggest tip for you guys, if you are afraid maybe you won't be able to water them or you'll forget, is to make it part of your routine. Like, find something in your routine that you do every single day. For me, it is coffee. I drink coffee every single morning, and so while I wait for my Keurig to heat up and while my coffee brews, that is when I do my watering, because I know I'm going to be waiting for my coffee anyways. So while my coffee is brewing, I go around and I water my plants, and I find that this is really helpful for me to remember because it's part of my routine. If you don't drink coffee in the morning, maybe do it like after you feed your cats, or whatever time of day that works for you, but find something that you do every single day and make plant watering part of that one time of day. And I found that that really helped me, especially at first. But let's go ahead and get into the tour already. I'm sure you guys are eager to get into that part of it. So let's go ahead and start with this room that we're in right now. So the first plant I want to talk about is actually one of my favorite plants in my entire house. It is such a beautiful freaking plant. I love it so much. I love this plant because it kind of has like a fake look to it. Like, it's so perfect that it looks fake, which I love a nice organic looking plant, but for some reason there's something about this plant that I just think is so stunning. And this is called a dragonfire plant, and I think it's in the succulent cactus family. So it kind of has like the thicker leaves and you don't have to water it as often. And I just love how clean it looks, and it's just so full. And I just think it looks so beautiful. And I love the different colors on it. Like, you have like the red tip and it kind of fades into green. I just think it's stunning and I absolutely love it. And I just repotted it into this beautiful white pot, and I just think it looks so pretty. It's my absolute favorite. Well, I actually have one other favorite in my house, which I'll tell you guys about in a bit, but this is definitely top 2 favorite plants. So the next plant is actually also in this room, and you could probably see it behind me. It is right there. Now, this plant I have a huge love-hate relationship with. This is probably my oldest plant, maybe my oldest plant. I've probably had this one for like maybe over 6 years, and I love the leaves of this plant. I think this is called a philodendron hope, and I absolutely love the leaves. The leaves are beautiful. I love the shape of them. It's very tropical looking, but the thing I hate about this plant is it's really attracted to sun, and so the leaves grow towards the sun. And I don't know if I just don't have a good place for this plant in my house. I don't know what it is, but it grows really wide, and so it takes up a ton of space, and I absolutely hate how it just grows wide and it doesn't grow up. I'm sure there's things that you can do for this plant to make it grow kind of upwards, but I probably should like repot it, try to get it to like, you know, face upwards a little bit. I don't know, guys. I'm stuck on that one. If you guys have any ideas or tips on how to better take care of that sucker, let me know, because I'm struggling. So this room I have one more plant, and this plant is on its last leg. I don't know what to do with this plant. This is another one of those plants that I bought years ago, so I don't know what it is. and my cat decided that it wanted to like chew on the leaves, so the leaves are like destroyed, and so I had to move it. I moved it up, and then I moved it into another place and another place. I was like trying to nurture this plant, and it's not really done anything. I think it's kind of grown upwards a little bit, so it's kind of gotten a little bit taller, but I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if I should give up on this little sucker. It's not horrible, but you can definitely tell it's been destroyed by some cats. If you guys know what plant this is, I would love to know. I have no idea. So then I have these plants that are kind of by my sliding glass door, and the first one that I have is a string of bananas. So this one is also one of my favorites. This one I actually was going to get a string of pearls first because I love string of pearls. It's one of my favorite plants. But the place that I got that one, they only had one string of pearls left and it was like dying. And I do love string of bananas. They kind of remind me of moons, which I kind of like. But anything that drapes down really low, I absolutely love. I think they're so stunning. And the thing about string of bananas and string of pearls is that they grow really fast, and you really get that like long dangly look with them, like really fast. You don't have to wait a really long time to get that look. And a lot of times when you find them in stores, they already are like overgrown like that, so you're already gonna get like that really long length. I actually have to water mine quite a bit. I would say every 3 or 4 days I water it, and it tends to do pretty good, but when I do water it, I don't water it very much. I usually just pour just a little bit of water in there, and that tends to be pretty good. And then right next to it I have my red wandering Jew. So this plant I got, this actually might be older than this plant, and I had no idea how to take care of this plant. I just thought it was really pretty, and there's so many times that I have thought this plant was like a goner. I'm surprised this plant is still alive, to be honest with you. There's been so many times I've like thought it was dead, so I was gonna throw it away, and it's like held on. Somehow I've kept it alive. I don't know, it's just a weird plant. This is one of my most finicky plants that I have, and you have to just water it a lot. I find that this plant needs a lot of water. I feel like I water it like every other day. And the other thing I don't like about this plant is that you have to clean out the dead leaves a lot. I feel like there's always dead leaves on this plant that you have to kind of clean out, otherwise it looks really gross. So this plant does have a lot of like maintenance involved, but once I put it up on a shelf so it could kind of fall and kind of have a trail, I feel like it's done a lot better. I like this plant. I think it's really pretty. I love the red tones and kind of like that more sage green, jungle green color. It doesn't have like that bright green that you often see in plants, so I really like that, and that's why I bought the plant to begin with. And then right next to that I have a little succulent. I don't even know where this one came from, to be honest with you, but I just put it there because I didn't really know where else to put it. But yeah, there's a little succulent sitting there. So now we're gonna move up to my daughter's bathroom. So in this bathroom I have a angel plant. Now this plant really excited me when I saw it, and the reason I love this plant, for one, is that it is fuzzy. So it has like little hairs on it, and it's more of like a soft fuzzy plant. But not only that, the vines that the leaves grow on look like tarantula legs. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that looks like a tarantula leg. Like, it looks like it has little joints, and they're like kind of hairy and like fuzzy. And I swear if you like took the leaves off of it, it would look like tarantula legs. And I think it looks so cool, and it instantly drew me to that plant. And not only that, I love how full it is. Like, it's just one of those really full plants. I like that the leaves are kind of a little more stiff and hard and fat. Like, I love leaves that are like really fat. I love this plant. I think it is so pretty, and I can't wait to see it grow even more. But yeah, it's my little tarantula plant. That's what I like to call it. And then right next to that I have 2 succulents. These are actually my daughter's. My kids love to buy either succulents or cactuses, and they like to take care of their succulents and cactuses, but sometimes they die because they forget to water them. But they've kept these succulents alive pretty well, which I'm proud of. Emery's is kind of doing okay, but I've actually propagated these succulents, especially Elena's, the taller one. I propagated that, and then I put it into another pot, which I'll show you later. So the next area is kind of like my little plant corner. I have most of my plants in this corner. So first we have the ponytail palm, and I'm pretty sure this is a ponytail palm. Now, I really like this one because it has a tropical look. I love tropical looking plants, and I love palms. And the thing I love about this one specifically is the main like stem of the plant. It looks like a palm tree, and so it just makes me really happy. This one is kind of dormant, I think. I'm not really sure. This one's not doing anything. It's kind of been the same size for years, and I potted it into this bigger pot because I kind of thought it might do a little bit better. I've tried kind of moving it around my house, but it's not really doing anything. So I'm not really sure what I need to do to kind of help this plant. If anybody knows, let me know. I don't hate how it looks. I think it looks really pretty, but it just hasn't really done a lot. So the next one is this giant plant. This is a traveler's palm. I I believe. And I like this one, but I wouldn't say this is my favorite plant. I love the size of it and I love that it's really big, but I feel like the leaves are really, really finicky. Like I feel like when you like bump a leaf, it like bruises and dies. So you see like a lot of little areas on the leaves that are kind of like drying out, and I don't know why that is or why that happens. But it's kind of frustrating because I feel like the leaves are so beautiful and big, and so when there's like one little like gross dead part on it, it just frustrates me. And so I feel like I have a little bit of frustration with this plant, but I do think it's really cool and I think it takes up like a giant corner of my house, which I really like. I don't know how much I love the shape of this plant. I kind of would like a fig there, a fiddle-leaf fig, but this one is still really pretty. I do love the big leaves and I think they're kind of really fun to look at. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this plant as well, but I still like it. I still think it's really pretty. So this one down here is a very weird plant. So this one is actually from my cousin Caleb. But this is like an exotic plant, and my cousin Caleb is like a plant expert. Like, I'm a plant enthusiast, he's a plant expert. He can grow anything. And Chelsea, my cousin, wanted to get me a plant for my birthday, and so she had Caleb grow me a really nice plant, and this is the plant that he gave me. Now, this is a cool plant because you can actually repot it and you can make it grow in a zigzag like this, which is really cool. So as you can see, it's kind of growing upwards on one side, and so once that kind of grows up for a little while, I can repot it and turn it and it'll start growing upwards again, so it's going to make a zigzag. So I'm going to try to do that with this one and see how I do and see if I can kind of get that zigzag look. I think that'll be really cool. But I love like the variegation in the leaves. I love the stripe down the middle. I think that's so pretty. There's a little bit of damage on this one, but hopefully that kind of goes away after a while. Hopefully I get some new sprouts on it to kind of hide the damage, but I'm kind of excited for this one. I think it's going to be kind of fun to try to get to grow in like weird angles. I think it's cool. So the next one is my snake plant. So if I could recommend a plant for like a beginner, it would be a snake plant. First of all, they're really pretty and they're very like aesthetic, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that very trendy plant right now, but the snake plant is nice because they're so freaking easy. You never have to water snake plants. Like, you could ignore your snake plant. You have to try to kill a snake plant. They're so easy to keep alive and they're so pretty. Like, I love the variegation on the leaves and how they kind of have like that zigzag kind of tie-dye look to them. I think it's so pretty. I love that. And I love how stiff the leaves are. It almost feels kind of cactusy in a weird way. And I call this one Spike because he's just a spike to me. He's a male apparently. And the nice thing about snake plants is they kind of can go anywhere. Like, you could put them in a darker area, you could put them in a brighter area. I feel like they kind of just do well anywhere. That's my experience anyways. I may be wrong, but so the next two plants I have are the ZZ plants. So ZZ plants are another plant that I would definitely recommend for beginners because they're so freaking easy to take care of. Again, you rarely have to water these and they're so freaking gorgeous. ZZ plants might be one of my favorite plants just because they're so pretty and easy. So I love how the leaves are really thick. Like I said, I love thick leaves in plants, I don't know. And they look kind of fake. They have a fake look to them, and I love like that deep green color. So if you're gonna get a plant for somebody that maybe doesn't have a ton of plants or is a newbie, definitely go with the ZZ plant. And then I have another one over on a shelf by my windows, and it's just like a small little ZZ plant just to add some color. That one's kind of growing in like weird angles. So my very last plant is actually one of my all-time favorites in my house. I love this one so much. So this one is a Draxia Gold Dust plant, and I think they can also be called Florida Beauties, I think. And this one, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the most stunning freaking plant I've ever seen. Like, it is so cool looking. Like the paint splatters on the leaves are so cool. It looks like it's been spray painted. And whenever I see plants like this, like on Pinterest, I'm like, where do you find plants like that? Like those really cool, weird looking plants that have like really weird coloring. And so when I saw this, I freaked out and I bought it, and I think it's so freaking pretty. And it's definitely one of my favorites. The Dragonfire right behind me, and then that one is definitely, those two are my two favorites in my house. And then I have my little succulents that are in the middle of my coffee table. These are some of the propagations that I did off of the girls' succulents. There was a ton of succulents in here at one point, but my cat, the one that got this plant over here, also got these succulents. I think it's cute. I mean, succulents to me are just cute in general. I love succulents. But yeah, some of them are really short because they are propagations. So it's just my little succulent garden. Okay, last but not least is one of my other favorite plants, and another one of those plants that you can really, really do a good job with if you are not a plant person or you're looking for like a first plant. And this is just your basic like pothos plant, like the ones that like vine down. This is a marble queen pothos, and the cool thing about this one is that it has some really cool variegation on the leaves that I really love. You can see like how it looks kind of like the leaves are marbled to a certain degree. Now this one I feel like is a little more subtle. You can get some marble queen pothos that are like really noticeable, but I have this on my bookshelf because I really love how it like crawls and it kind of hangs, and I can just let it keep growing and growing and growing. You can also propagate this really well, and you can make a whole bunch more of these plants if you want. I haven't done that yet, but I do want to do that. But yeah, I love how this looks, and I think it's one of the funnest plants to put places that you want to like fall or kind of like vine. And the cool thing about these plants too is they're super easy to take care of because they tell you when they need to be watered. They kind of start to like wilt and they become like really sad, and you're like, oh my god, I need to water you. So you water them and they just like perk right back up. They're super forgiving, and they don't like to be watered too much. So you don't have to water it like every day or every other day. You can go quite a while without watering these plants, but they remind you to water them, but they don't die completely. You do kind of have to clean out some of the dead leaves and stuff here and there, but for the most part, they're super easy and I love them. So if you go outside, these are not houseplants technically, but I thought I'd just kind of talk about them really quickly so you guys can kind of see what I have outside. So right here in the corner, my mom was actually getting rid of these two blue pots because they no longer went with her aesthetic, because she just like painted her house and she's like, I don't want these blue pots. They just don't go with the new paint job. So she gave them to me. Now in the far one, the rounded leaves, that one is a Asterby, I believe. A blue Asterby is what she said. And I thought this one was really pretty. It's very unique. I didn't know much about it, but she didn't want to take the plant out. She's like, you can have the pot and you can have the plant. So I just kept the plant in it. And I think it's really pretty. I really like it. And then right next to it, I have a blue, I think it's called a blue Elijah grass. But I absolutely love this grass. I think it's freaking stunning. And I love the Asterby and the grass next to each other. And one of my favorite things with plants, if you haven't noticed, is when I pair them together, I like to pair a spiky one with a rounder one. I love the contrast of the two, and I just think it looks really good. So I knew because I had that blue Asterby, I wanted to get something spiky because I like that combination. So I love those together. And then I have basil and I have cilantro that I'm growing right now. And in the middle of my table outside, I have some pink petunias because I love petunias. And then I have two giant pots of petunias right next to my stairs. So that is it, you guys, for this video. I hope it was interesting. I will definitely do an update maybe like in 6 months or a year or whenever, because I do think that things are going to change a little bit. I may get rid of this plant. I will probably get more plants. We'll see, but I will definitely do more tours in the future if you guys want to see them. And I think that's it, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!